Yeah, I'm not seeing too many people on, but usually Sunday, uh, not many people still being on. That's fine, And but as I go along, hopefully more people will join, and then we'll just go from there. So last week of November, let's take a look what's kind of available in the market. As you guys know, we want to be a little bit more careful. Even myself, having losing months so far, still want to be obviously in the market looking for opportunity, but also want to be a little bit more extra careful on some of these moves. Um, to me, over the weekend, I was looking at all the trades and really just understanding that sometimes the market just needs a little bit more time to correct, or it's just forming a larger structure or whatnot, and they just going to be in that corrective stance for a little bit longer. And understanding that now, and just want to be extra careful, extra conservative, and extra waiting for a little bit more confirmation, and then to take it from there. So, so I see. Okay, so 11 o'clock GMT, 23 o'clock GMT. So let's get started. As always, I'll start with the equities first. So I'll look at S&P 500. So any questions, just let me know. So S&P 500, still looking at a possible short here. I like what I'm seeing here still. This is still very corrective to me, even if we go down to the lower time frame. This looks like it's forming a head and shoulder pattern potentially, and but still looking for a little bit more development in the structure if that's going to happen, because I'm still seeing the downside. The downside to me is still a lot of potential. We break out the structure here. There's lots of risk reward in this one. Same thing as this kind of short sell to the lows of the previous kind of bottom. So I still see opportunities, okay, in the indices, just like Downs. Same idea as Dow Jones. Same idea. It's like the structure here where prices were sitting at, still being corrective, still seeing potential head and shoulder as well. Um, but I do like the opportunity from this point down. Okay, I do see if this correction is finished, I do like this move down to again to the previous low. Okay, so overall structure wise, you're seeing that price is in this kind of expanding structure. You understand that every time when price is at the top or price is at the bottom, sorry, we usually get the push down or push up, so to speak. So looking forward to that this week. Looking forward to see if that's going to develop this week, and then we get that push down from this point forward. And that's that. A little bit similar, right? We have this swing high, so double top here. We had that push down, and then potentially this is a bearish flag in the making, and looking for the downside to the previous low once again. I do see the other two, S&P and Dow, a little bit more risk reward than Nasdaq here. Okay, so that's what I see on the U.S. indices. I quickly scanned through some of these European ones because I mentioned this a couple last week as well. If we're looking at let's say German 30, we're at this area where price push up good. Looking like it's forming a correction, and I would like to see what the price would do once it hit up to breaking the previous high, because we're still in this overall structure. Um, sorry, overall structure here on the higher time frame, right? You can see that we have a few swing highs and swing lows, and price, even though forming a continuation, it may not break above the structure. So we want to pay attention to this one, seeing what we'll do at the top, potentially looking for the reversal. And it's very similar like Euro 50, right? You see this push up, and then prices consolidating here. So very likely that it's definitely forming a correction. It's just not clear whether it's going to be a reversal correction, or is it going to be eventually turning to a continuation. But seeing what I'm seeing here, again, all these swing lows and swing highs, we could get that bear short run. Okay, we're still in this overall higher time structure, just like France 40, just like Euro 50, just like DEX, right? They're all very similar price action. So that gives me a little bit better confluence what I'm seeing here on the US indices as well, that they could be looking for that bearish kind of reversal. All right. So this for this week, still seeing bearish kind of price action here on most of the indices, most of the equities here. Okay. Okay, so hi everyone. So let's continue. Let's jump into commodities really quick. just really want to go over gold and oil. So oil, still looking very good. I'm still waiting for a possible short here, right? I talk about that we had this period of consolidation in ascending kind of channel, first push down and then correctional structure, right? We have these swing highs and swing lows. I talked about just previously on the indices, and then you can see that price. We zoom down to lower time frame. We had this push down, and then price is very corrective in this sense. So likely that is just going to continue correcting. And what I would be looking for is what happens when the price reach to the previous top, right? So always forming a double top. Yeah, this ascending channel, you're likely to have more reversal price action here on the lower time frame. And really looking for either a double top here or a first push down from the price. Looking for a lower time frame correction would be nice. That is how I will approach gold upcoming week. Still like this sell very, very probable in my opinion, even just down to the previous lows. If you can manage to get an entry here, that would be a pretty good trade down to the lows here. Okay, so this is definitely on my watch list, and just again waiting for a little bit the last piece of the price action to develop here. Jumping to silver and gold really quick. Not much has happened since I think last week when I talked about them. We're just still in this overall kind of higher time frame structure, right? We had the push down from here, and then we had again swing highs and swing low. And is this the bearish move and then continuation to push down? It's a little bit stalling here, and that's why I'm a little bit hesitate to kind of see what it will do. It likely could make another push up, right? And that's why you always want to keep in mind that price action can do that. But as long as it's still in this overall structure, we're still looking for downside from this point forward. Okay, so let it develop a little bit more here. Okay, on the lower time frame, it's not too clear on what it's doing. Okay, so let it develop a little bit longer so you don't want to get trapped in this consolidation. And it's very similar like gold. Gold, we talk about that we had this bearish push down and then waiting for some sort of continuation structure. It's definitely making a correction. It's just that it's not finished yet, right? You can see this is potentially a descending channel, and price may likely to push up one more time, and maybe completing this structure from the top and looking for the sell from the top here. Okay, so I wouldn't jump into the sell right away. And I always talk about just because, let's say we had the structure was originally only like this, just because it broke out, but does it have continuation? Does it have confirmation? If not, then structure is just evolving into a larger structure, but still looking for the impulse, correction, impulse, right? So the correction doesn't, it's just not complete at the time, and it's just expanding into a larger structure. Okay. So that's what I see on gold, still waiting for a little bit more development here. And let's jump into the currencies. I know we're all looking at currency. Let's see kind of what is looking good for this upcoming week. So let's look at the dollar index here. I still see on dollar index here, I still see the potential bullish. I still see my bias is still bullish for this up move. Okay, doesn't matter what the price is going to do in this area, even if it correct itself all the way down to the previous low, or forming reversal price action here. I'm still looking for a possible buy. Okay, on all the dollar pairs, which I'll go over. I still haven't seen much of a bearish move in this lower time frame kind of price action yet. Okay, so still to me that price can just correct itself a little bit longer, deeper, and then still looking for that bearish move up. And that's kind of how I would approach it from this point forward. Okay, and not not saying that it won't go down or anything. It's just that personally, what I'm seeing so far, still on the dollar pair, I still see this is the correct kind of price action I'm looking at. We had all this impulse down, and then we had this pretty much a neutral kind of reversal correction, first push up, and then we're just likely to making a larger kind of structure. That is kind of how I see. So even if it continues trickles down, even if it breaks this previous low, even if it continues trickles down to the previous low, um, I would still be looking for a potential buy. I still see this as a potential kind of a bullish structure. We have a double bottom here now, so lower time frame double bottom, and then still looking for the reversal up move. Okay, so this week just eyeing the lower time frame, seeing what it will do in this overall correction. Can we get the push up from there and then continue moving forward? We'll see how the market opens or how the market reacts this week. All right. So Aussie dollar, still not my favorite dollar. Okay, I'll go over the favorite ones, but looking at Aussie dollar, still seeing this. I talk about every week. I still see this as the impulsive move that we broke off on this ascending channel, and then we're just in this kind of a larger expanding structure. Okay, so price is stalling here. It's correcting likely, and seeing what the price will do. We're forming structures within structures, which is good. Right, we have this overall structure, and this likely can make a push up to the top, and then we'll see what happens at the top of this area. Whether going to be a double top on the reason price action, and then looking for the reversal. Definitely see the structure can evolve into this way, and not looking for the buy or anything. I'm just still seeing this as a potential corrective sell to the bottom here. And let me go through still what are my favorite ones. I definitely see Kiwi dollar is my favorite ones to go. Kiwi dollar, and as this corrects more, the more likely, the more higher probable that we're going to get the next sell. It's just that this correction may or may not finish as we want to, right? We can't force that or anything. Originally we were looking for sell, and then we're looking for sell here, but as the structure continued to evolve, you just understand that price is getting this squeeze in this area, right? It's very good that we're just getting this squeeze in this kind of a rising wedge kind of reversal structure. And we know from a higher time frame that we're just at the top of this overall parallel channel structure, which is good. You see that prices just move up, but then it's forming this kind of potential reversal structure. So how I would approach this? Well, you can see that there was a push down, and then there was this ascending channel within this rising wedge, and we have potentially a double top here on the recent price action. So again, because price can't be corrective in this structure still, so not likely to be taking these shorts or anything. I want to see the straight breakout from this point forward, and then looking for a lower time frame correction. I think that's going to be the safest, judging by how this week has been moving on all these Kiwi or Aussie pairs. I do see this is going to be the safer side, which is going to be my approach this time around. If I'm looking for a short here, just waiting for the confirmation breakout and then waiting for the first correction I get here. I think that's going to be the safest. Still lots of risk reward, even down to the previous low here. Still looking pretty good, at least 3 to 4 to 1. But the main target is to the lows of this higher time frame structure here. Okay. So moving on to euro dollar. So euro dollar, you can see that we're prices in this overall kind of structure channel. So we had this previous double top here, and then remember I mentioned we have this first push down and then looking for a continuation. So this can be that continuation. Talk about it's just a little bit larger, a little bit deeper, more in ascending kind of nature. So you want to see what will happen if we can reach the previous top. So pretty much making an M-style pattern and then a double top here on the lower time frame, and then still looking for the sell down to the lows here. Okay, so that's why I see on euro dollar, but it's not my favorite. I still see Kiwi dollar is pretty good, and I'll go over a couple of the dollar pairs that looks a little bit better. Pound dollar. So pound dollar has been a pretty tricky one. Still see even after the second kind of double top, we see the first push down, and then a correction here wouldn't continue. That's where I take my loss as well. So what its price doing is still very corrective, and this is why this area is pretty much key here. Is prices continue going up, let it continue correcting. Can we form a double top here, and then this will be the move to go down, or is it going to go up to, even higher area now? But I really don't see that happening. I see how price. You can see why prices every time it reach this top, we're seeing that push down. So this is likely to be that area where people are just looking for the sell anyways. We're at the top of this overall structure. We just had this large impulse, larger correctional structure, and we're at the top here where a lot of us would be looking for the sell, right? So that's why price is not managed to breaking above. So How would I approach this? Well, looking for a double top here if price is going to continue going up, or even just in this general area. It's already pretty corrective in this kind of price action, right? So you have this ascending channel, rising wedge, you have this ascending channel, you have this ascending channel once again. So again, looking for some sort of price action to reverse here, maybe a push down from this, and then continuation down. That's going to be, again, a nice entry down to even just the previous low. You can get lots of risk reward even down to the previous low here. So looking forward to that this week as well. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD looking up, shaping up to be a little bit better than last week or 2 weeks ago. I do like dollar CAD a little bit better now. I can see that there was this strong kind of impulsive move from the previous kind of larger correction. You can see that this was the larger correction. We had this first push down and then another correction here, push down lower. And once price pushed down lower and I see price could not break the previous low, or I mean break the previous low but did not continue, that's usually a good sign that we're getting to the bottom of the structure here, and that reversal can happen, right? And we're forming this larger structure. You can tell there's a few swing highs and swing low I talk about, so that completes its structure in my point of view. And we see this kind of lower time frame push up and lower time frame potential flag continuation structure. Looking for a buy here to the previous top. I think it's pretty ideal. So waiting for this correction to finish and then waiting for the breakout would be more safer again, in my opinion. Okay, so let's continue. Dollar yen. I think one of you guys asked me about dollar yen. Not seeing too much on dollar yen anymore. I remember I did go into a buy here. That ended up with a loss. Was looking for a continuation from this point forward. Instead, we just see price continue lower. So I'm not even interested in the buy or sell. I'm more going to see what will happen to this previous low here and then continue. If the price is going to continue lower, see what price action was going to do here. It's just way too close to the previous low already to even look for it short. It already pushed down pretty hard, right? So not too interesting, just going to observe to see what price will do in this general area. Let's move on to a few Aussie pair and Kiwi pairs. So Aussie pair, I was looking for a short here, and we did see the continuation down, and then just had that bullish push up once again. So not going to be on my main watch list anymore, but still going to see what price is going to do at this kind of a double top area. We had the push down, we had this kind of reversal impulse. Is it going to continue this point forward, or is it going to just correct itself and then continue dropping down? We see Aussie CAD does that a few times before, right? You have a push down and then you have a push up and then you suddenly push down again, right? So you push up and then you push down once more. So let it kind of play out a little bit. I don't see too much on this point. I was seeing the sell pretty clearly, but after seeing this bullish push, rather be on the sideline for this one. Aussie Swiss, same idea, was looking for the sell. I've gotten the sell as well, right? Push down, correction, was looking for continuation. But now it just looks like it can just be forming a larger structure. Right? This looks like it's just a push up on the lower time frame. So can it push up one more time, potentially to the top here, completing this structure, or even the previous top, and still looking for the downside. Okay, so want to be a little bit more careful now, because as these structures continue to evolve, that means that this larger structure is going to continue to develop. So don't jump into the trade too early now, because we're seeing a deeper correction in the making. Okay, Aussie Kiwi. Someone asked me about Aussie Kiwi. Um, Not really on my watch list, but I can see why you guys are looking at maybe a double bottom here, and then there's kind of a falling wedge kind of structure here, which is good reversal, and see what price is going to do. Is this going to pop to the upside here and then followed by a correction? Then yeah, this is a potential valid buy for me even to the top. But all I'm seeing so far is just this double bottom here that potentially is forming. I do like this wedge in the making as well. Okay, so a little bit more development as always I say. So wait for breakout, wait for correction, wait for a possible entry. Just see what how it is going to the previous top or the next top like here. Okay, so that's Aussie Kiwi. So let's continue. Aussie Yen. So Aussie yen, I was in and I was out. Still not too clear. A couple other yens are slowing down as well, so I want to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to the yen pairs. Um, but Aussie yen, we had this push down from the top, right? We have this first push down, and then correction, and another push down. So looks like we're making another correction here, which is good. Can this break out and continue lower? Uh, Possible, but I'm favored towards the other yen pairs, which I'm gonna go over. So between Aussie and Kiwi pairs, I do prefer the Kiwi pairs a lot better than the Aussie pairs. They're shaping up to be a little bit more better for the push out. So let me go through the other one. Pound yen is another one I'm looking at. Remember, I was potentially looking for a sell from here, but this structure looks like it's potentially a reversal on the higher lower time frame. Sorry, so look like price can get pushed up to the top. We'll just see what the price will do. Is it going to form a larger structure? But as I talk about, structure can still evolve, right? So this can be one possibility. We have a swing high and swing lows, right? So that completes the pattern, and this is potentially a correctable structure for this move, and we can get the next move out from this point forward. Okay, so this one definitely can shape up to that in the upcoming days or so. And the high time frame, why I talk about this all the time, right? Impulse, correctional structure, and then looking for the next push down. And let's talk about Kiwi yen because it looks better than Aussie yen in my opinion. Definitely see Kiwi yen still going to play out, just waiting for this correctional structure. Okay, if we just zooming down here, the deeper and longer this correctional structure go, the better it is that we understand that this is going to be corrective. Okay, so we have these swing highs and swing low as I always talk about. This looks like it can push up one more time. Good. Let it push up one more time to the top here. That will potentially complete this structure here on the lower time frame. So potentially impulse, correction, push to the top side, and then looking for the downside from this point forward. So certainly my best yen pair to go. So these Kiwi pairs, um, certainly going to look like they're going to lose strength, but just needs a little bit more development. A little bit more development would be ideal for the correct entries after what I've seen for the last kind of 2 weeks or so. Euro pound. So Euro pound still on my watch list. I know some of you guys are still looking at Euro pound. Still looks good. I can't deny the fact that we're still looking pretty good for the potential up move, right? We already see that this is overall higher time frame structure. We had this push up, larger correctional structure in the making. We dropped down to the previous low, and then we had this bearish bullish push up, followed by a potential correctional structure. But you have to be careful. As this continue to go, they can just continue, trickles down to the previous low, forming a double bottom here, and then still take off, right? So be a little bit careful. Don't jump into the trade. I will wait for the breakout and then continuation, even possibly breaking out the higher time frame structure before considering an entry. Whereas if it continue trickles down or continue correct itself down to the previous low, then looking for the reversal from the bottom here would be ideal. Okay, so that's Euro Pound, Euro Kiwi. Euro Kiwi, very similar like Kiwi Swiss, which I'll go over. Still looking very clean in my opinion. Just larger structure. We're seeing these kind of expanding parallel channel structure, and we're almost at the previous low as well. So again, can if it's going to correct itself, let it correct to itself to the previous low, and that will be a very good trade from the double bottom and then reversal up. But if it's going to go up already from the current price condition, right, this looks like an inverse head and shoulder in the making. So is this going to correct itself and then potentially break out the structure here? Then I think this is going to be a valid buy for me as well. If we break out this structure, impulse correction, impulse up. Okay. Kiwi, Euro Kiwi looks clean as well. And I'll jump into a couple other pairs. Cat Swiss. CAD Swiss was just made on my watch list because higher time frame wise, still liking what I'm seeing here. I like that we had this overall impulse correction, another impulse, another correction. So again, swing highs, swing lows, looking good. And on the lower time frame, we had this correctional structure, so a reversal structure from this bullish move. So impulse, reversal correction, impulse down, and then potentially this is a continuation correction for this move down here, and we can see the next move down. Okay, this looks pretty clean to me, and that's why I made my watch list. This sharp move down, impulse correction, we see this over and over again in the market, right? You don't have to, you look back at the market, you see this kind of move all the time. Let's go over Kiwi Cat. So Kiwi Cat also, all the Kiwi pairs are looking really, really decent. Okay, just obviously you just have to choose the best one or two to go for it. So Kiwi Cat still on my watch list, still forming this kind of a ascending channel or rising wedge. Very reversal-like structure. We're at the previous top. We just broke the previous top and looking very corrective structure. So that's good. And again, lower time frame wise, we have this kind of ascending channel as well. So first push down out of the structure, first correction would be the more safer side, even down to the previous low. That's lots of risk reward. And again, the main target would be the bottom of the structure here. Okay, that's going to be the main sell point. So Kiwi Cat, very good. Kiwi Swiss, just opposite of Euro Kiwi, right? Very similar like Kiwi Cat we just went over, except this looks even a little bit better because on the lower time frame, we had this push down and then potentially forming again, ascending channel. And then we're looking at this as a double top now. And price is pretty much very corrective in this price action, which is good. And you want to wait for that push down correction, go down from there. Okay. That is Kiwi Swiss. So let's continue. Pound Swiss, this one someone asked me to do. Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly seeing the sell if you're looking for a sell, right? Impulse correction. This can continue down lower. The reason why I'm not too interested because I also see what do I want to say? When I see a couple other Swiss pairs like Kiwi Swiss or Aussie Swiss, I feel they have a little bit better price action. Okay, I do see what you guys are seeing here. This is potentially a double top, and then price had this push down and then potential correction here, right? That is one possibility of the price, but because I see this overall price action still pretty bullish, right? I made a post here about a potential breakout from this point forward. So I'm still a little bit more on the sideline for this one. I see this as more as an impulse correction impulse, and if this continue correct up to a double top, that will give me a better confluence for the sell. Okay, but for now, if I have to choose a Swiss pairs, I do rather choose the Kiwi Swiss or other Swiss pair like Aussie Swiss, for example. Last one I want to go over Pound Kiwi. So this one's requested by someone. I'm assuming you're looking for a buy. That's kind of all I'm seeing at this point for a potential buy. Again, there's just better Kiwi pairs that I feel for the weakness of Kiwi. I just don't see Pound Kiwi to fall on this. I'd rather see this as a sell, right? We talk about on the high time frame wise. This to me is more as a sell. I don't see too much development here on the lower time frame. This looks like it can get squeezed here and then potentially going up. Okay, that's probably the only thing I see. But that's it. I don't see too much out of it. So I'd rather choose other Kiwi pairs over this one. Yeah, CAD yen, right? CAD yen, potentially making a correction here. That's what I'm looking at. But I don't see too much risk reward compared to a couple yen pairs. Because this is already has been kind of dropping already, whereas the other ones hasn't been. So it's pretty close to the previous low already. So I would not jump into this one. I'd rather pick pound yen or Kiwi yen for the yen strength continue. Not saying this will continue break lower, but because the move already kind of happened, right? So Okay, so that is all the currency pairs I'm looking at. So I went over it quite quickly, but I think that's all the ones I'm looking at for this week. Any questions on the currency pair, guys? So I'll finish up with just a few cryptos that I'm not on my watch list, but just kind of go over. I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking at Bitcoin. Still the same thing I'm gonna say last week is just that when you see such a move up already, I'm just not interested to jump into any of these. I want to see larger structures in the making, right? Sure, there can possibly be some buy setup, but they're just likely going to correct a little bit longer before it buy. That's just kind of how I see price action over and over again. So some of you guys message me about this, and that's going to be my answer for that. Okay, I just don't see after such move already that's going to continue. What it's likely to do is to catch a lot of traders just trying to jump in here, and then it's just going to form a deeper correction, and then before the takeoff again. So very similar like Ethereum, again, already pushed up already. The buy was here that I talked about a few weeks ago. So if it already break the previous top, then not don't chase the trade, just looking for another correction. You want to wait for some sort of correction to give you a little bit more confluence that this will continue going up. Right. Last one. Link, same idea. Buy here, but it's not pushing up as much as Bitcoin or Ethereum, but the safer side would just be looking for the same correctional structure to buy. Okay. OMG, same thing. Same thing. We had this breakout and then we had this kind of a flag kind of structure. So we push up already and then potentially it's going to form another correction to push up. But we're already at the very close to the previous high. We already broke the we're already at this level, I mean. So anything can happen because we already hit the top and then price can just push down and then continue downward as well, right? So that's also one possibility. So that's why for the crypto wise, I wouldn't jump in already because I already moved so much. All right. So any question, guys? Went over pretty fast today. But any questions on the currency pairs or anything that you guys are looking at? I think went over most of the ones that you guys are talking about. So are you waiting for the well-known 30% pullback on Bitcoin? I don't even know what do you mean by that, but I'm sure there's people talking about some sort of deeper pullback. I don't necessarily say 30%, but I would say I'm just waiting for a larger structure in the making, right? Something like this. Okay. It's just because price cannot just continue to shoot up, right? Just waiting for something a little bit better to form here. And because we're close to the previous top now, or the all-time top really, so you want to be careful because this is also an area where a lot of people will be looking for sell, right? Typical bigger people, bigger accounts or bigger whales, so to speak. They're waiting for a lot of beginner traders to buy in this area because they broke the previous high. And then what they're likely to do is just drop down wide like that, right? That happens all the time. Okay. So you can see even on the higher time frame here that after such a sharp move like this, it takes this much correction to resume the next move, right? It's pretty clear here, right? So you're likely to get that kind of correction, right? Even larger or deeper, right? You can see this is pretty deep, right? Pretty large drop, pretty deep drop, right? Pretty large correction, right? So who to say that this cannot happen, in this time around, right? Waiting for the larger structure to go like this before the bump move. So structurally, waiting for something like this. I don't even see something like this could be the price to bring up, right? You can see that this was the previous push up. It takes this long to correct itself, right? Yeah, probably just like this, right? If you're talking about pullback, this is a pullback, right? And this is a pullback, right? So you're likely to see pullbacks like that. Okay. Yeah, I can go over them. I'll go over dollar Swiss first. Dollar Swiss was not on my watch list. Sorry, guys. Okay. Dollar Swiss. So I understand what you guys are seeing in terms of dollar Swiss. We had this previous low that was broke, and then we had this impulse up. Potentially, this is a correction, right? We can see that structure can evolve a little bit larger and bigger. So this could be the structure that we're seeing at now, right? Potentially a potential flag kind of structure you can see. Um, that is okay, but that is all I see because this is kind of the same thing as why I don't really want to trade dollar yen pairs with dollar and yen both strong because I see Swiss can is also strong in this sense, right? So I really don't want to trade a strong currency against another strong currency. That's usually why I stay out of dollar yen or dollar Swiss. Usually during these time when we see pairs dropping, we're usually going to look at dollar, we're usually going to see yen, and we're usually going to see Swiss gaining strength, right? So I try not to pair them up if I see them. That's really why I usually don't like to choose those ones. Okay, but if we're just solely looking at price action wise, yeah, I mean double bottom here, bullish push up, right? Bullish continuation correction flag, looking for the next push up to the previous high, right? But like I said, I if I'm choosing a dollar pair, I just rather choose, like Kiwi dollar or something or pound dollar where they're generally um, weaker currency pairing with a strong currency, right? So Kiwi yen, yeah, Kiwi yen, my favorite yen, right? I talk about this. Um, just waiting for this correction to finish. I want to see price pretty much on the lower time frame, making this flag good. I want to see price to push up to this top of the structure here. So you have two swing highs and two swing lows, potentially completing this structure here. So we see it on a lower time frame. We're at the top here, impulse correction, looking for the next impulse down, right? Very clean, very straightforward. This is still my favorite self on the top. Overall, you're in this high time frame structure, right? So that's Kiwi yen. Uh, what about Tesla? Yeah, definitely looking for Tesla for the buy, right? Tesla definitely a buy for me. I was just gonna make this post, but I'll make it after. But the point is, we're breaking out of this higher time frame structure, guys. Pretty clearly what the price is doing. If we see overall price condition, right, this was a correction from this previous buy, and I got in this buy here, right? Got out somewhere here once price dropped down, but understanding that once we have this strong impulse, we're going to have another strong kind of a correctional structure. And once the structure is complete, we push up, look for a correction. It's just how the price has been moved over and over again, right? So nothing changes when it comes to price action. Um, Definitely looking for a buy here to continue up from this price, right? We know Tesla just joined S&P 500, right? So all good news for Tesla, even though some analysis people, even though they will say that it's too inflated or the price is too, I mean, it is true, so to speak, right? There's too much value in a company where it's really not worth that much, right? We all know that. Tesla worth so much more than Ford or something like that. Someone did a comparison, but is Tesla really producing more cars than Ford? Definitely not, right? So okay, but that's what I see on Tesla. certainly seeing the continuation from this point forward, just waiting for a continuation structure, whatever it's going to form here. It can just be forming a larger kind of channel or some sort of continuation. We're going to the upside. Okay. Yeah. Any other question, guys? Any other questions for anything? Happy to answer anything you guys are looking at. Why do you think that happens? Uh, Definitely not the retail traders, I'll be honest. But not in those Robinhood traders. I mean, but just regular people pouring money into the stock. Really, that's all it is to it, right? Uh, it's like people trying to chase Amazon, trying to chase Apple. It's all the same, right? People are usually um, late, right, or one step late, or what you want to call it. Um, they're usually not going to capture when Amazon take off, right? They're usually going to capture after, right? This is why it's all this consolidation because people are trying to buy and sell in this area. But what it does is just forming a larger correctional structure before the next up, right? You can see price is just always going to be forming larger structure after a push up and then just kind of trapping people in this area. So there's people buying here, and then they're gonna sell, right? Once all this buy and sell is all finished, you can just see that it's going to be the next tape off, right? It's the same idea what's going to happen here. It's likely to just going to be corrected for a while, and then once all the buyer and seller finishes, it's just going to take off again, right? So yeah, it's the same, isn't it? You see what Apple is doing? It's the same, right? After such a sharp move up, it's not going to continue higher if it's just going to be corrected for a while and then start going up after that, right? All right, everyone. Any other question, guys, for anything? Any other pairs you want me to look at? I think I went over most of them already, so should be a good week. Just want to be, like I said, a little bit more conservative after what I have been through the last 2 weeks. But that happens, right? Like I said, that's really why I made the video about talking about how to deal with losing because honestly, that's going to happen in all the traders. People who tell you they don't ever lose is just really lying to you, or they really haven't traded enough years to understand what probability is in trading, right? So you understand that in the year 12 month, you're gonna have some losing month. That's fine because your winning month is gonna cover your losing month, and you're gonna continue going. That's just how it is, right? So it's how you deal with your losing time or losing drawdowns make you a trader because most people when they lose big because they start losing and they start chasing, they start revenge trading, they start opening bigger position, leverage trading, whatnot, and they usually end up losing more money than they should have, right? So how to cope with your emotion, how to say no and just kind of get away from the market for 1 or 2 days and get back, it's the key, right? Because you come back fresh, you'll come back very conservative, and you're going to be a little bit more cautious, right? Whereas people who start losing, they're just going to start entering trades on their phone, right? This is why having, for beginners, when you can access your whatever your MT4, right, on your phone, it's usually the most dangerous, because you're just gonna start clicking on your phone, right? Start clicking on your phone, start like you're just gonna start clicking on your phone, start like executing trades, start executing positions, because you're trying to make back the money you made, and you're not even following your analysis anymore. You're just kind of just revenge. You're like gambling, right? You know why gamblers lose in casino? Because when they lose, they start gambling more. They start upping their bets, right? Maybe they bet $10 this hand, they start losing 4 or 5 hands, and they start betting 20, 30, 40. And that's why they lose so much faster. And it's the same as trading. Is like when you lose, let's say you were following your plan to risk 1% or $10 or whatever your plan is, you were following pretty good, you were making okay money, and then suddenly you lose 4 or 5 trades, and then you could become emotional. Instead of risking 10, you start risking 20, 30, 40. Exactly like people why they lose in casino, right? So the same idea here is just how you interpret what's happening. So think of yourself as a player going to casino, then you will be gambling away, or you want to be a house in a casino where you're just going to follow your strict rules and then let the probability play out, right? So this two side of trading, you want to be the player or you want to be the house, right? Certainly, losses are going to be the best experience for you to be better, right? If you don't lose, you're never going to learn. In fact, if you don't lose, then actually that's unfortunate, because typical traders who jump into trading thinking trading is so easy because they'll take a few trades and they're making money and they think trading is all that. Then once the reality comes, once that probability comes, when they're in so much drawdowns and losing, they can't cope with it because they never even lost before, right? And that's how they're going to get hurt even more by doing that, right? So, okay. Anything else, guys? Any other questions for me? I do. I do have lots of new plans for New Year after. I mean, after this year, I talk about in the 2 weeks ago. I talk about mentioned about an ebook, right? Certainly an ebook. I'm going to add a little bit more value, hopefully, to Aries trading in terms of what I can provide every week, right? We talk about weekly outlook, which is today. We talk about 2 daily stream outlook, right? That's already been happening. Talk about the market update in Telegram, right? That's already happening. Going to starting next year or even before that, I'm trying to be doing a weekly trade recap, right? Talk about this, I think. Just we'll talk about the trades at the end of the week or at the end of the month. Kind of talk about what trades are that I have taken or whatever, and then make that into a video as for educational purposes. I haven't get to that yet because I'm still thinking about a template or what I want to do every time I do it, so it's consistent every time if I do a recap video, right? So that's also happening. Hopefully, again starting next year, and then go from there. Really, that's kind of how my plan is with that, and hopefully on other platforms as well. Already getting a lot of good feedback from Telegram, YouTube, TradingView, and whatnot. So hopefully those continue to grow, and hopefully I can continue pass on the information to everyone. All right, that is my plan, and that is my goal for New York. I mean New Year for 2021. Right, 2020, everyone's almost to that, so which is good. Hopefully, 2021 will be a better year for everyone, and hopefully that will be um, everyone will look forward to that for the upcoming year. Any other question, guys, before I end the stream? So I will do obviously another daily outlook, maybe on a New York session in the next 1 or 2 days, 24, 48 hours. I'll make a um, daily outlook stream, and we'll see how the market develop. But the closest one, I'm gonna go over these. The closest one I'm seeing that will be ready for the next 24 or 48 hours is certainly Kiwi Yen. So Kiwi Yen, seeing what price will do um, once it reaches this area. Once we see price gets pushed up to this area, that would be a interesting area. Kiwi Swiss, right? Kiwi Swiss waiting the breakout, waiting for a correction. I think that's very good. Kiwi Cat as well. Kiwi Cat sending channel within the sending channel, top of correction, waiting for the push down. That looks great as well. Euro Kiwi, same idea as Kiwi Swiss, kind of a channel correction, either a double bottom or some sort of reversal price action would be nice. And dollar cat, so dollar cat potentially breaking out this kind of flag channel and continue up more. Pound dollar, looking at this reason double top as a potential sell opportunity. And Kiwi dollar, looking for the breakdown from here and then looking for a correction to continue lower. So mostly all Kiwi pairs, mostly all, and then Kiwi pairing with Yens or Swiss, right? I think those are looking pretty good. Okay, that is all on my watch list for this next 24, 30 hours. And like I said, I had oil on watch as well. Oil can continue going up once more and then looking for a push down from there. And gold and silver just needs a little bit more development, in my opinion, on this current area where price is sitting at. And gold is same idea here. Still, it looks good and it has a high probability that we can continue to sell. It's just that this structure is not ready, and you want to see the structure continue to the top, and then still looking for the push down from there. And indices, like I said, S&P, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, still looking for a potential sell from the top here. Okay. So that is all I'm seeing for this upcoming 24, 48 hours. So hopefully you guys will catch some of these if it happens. And I will chat with you guys next time on the next daily market update. All right. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, everyone.